Hello and welcome back. Today in ArcGIS Pro, we're going to be going through Lab 5, which is working with tables. Our instruction says this lab will introduce you to some of the most common tasks done on tables, including formatting, editing, querying, using the field calculator, and field statistics functions. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm signed in over here. We'll go ahead and create a new blank map. Call this Lab 5. Find my folder to locate it. Labs, we'll hit OK, we'll hit OK. And the instruction says turn off the topographic layer. I'm just going to delete mine. Probably don't need to tell you guys this stuff by now, but okay. So the instruction says to add USA states to the map. I'm sure I don't need to tell you how to do that. I'm sure you already have that data downloaded and extracted into a folder specific for this lab. So we're just going to go to map, add data. I'm going to locate that data. Here it is here. Go ahead and load that. And voila, we've got USA states, like it should be anything else. So the instruction says to right-click the layer and select attribute table. So we're going to examine the attribute table and see what's contained in here. I'll expand this up a little bit. And number 2 says to use the scroll bar at the bottom of the attribute table to scroll to the right. And we see population 2017 on the far right end. This is kind of an inconvenient place for it to be. It should probably be located, over here near this pop 2010 over here. That's what we're going to do next. It says we will change the order of the fields to move pop 2017 to a better position. All you have to do this is click on this, on the field header right here, and move it where you want. So we're going to move it right here between males and females. And if you see there's a little black line that pops up right there, that's where it's going to be relocated. So you just release it there and it's in its correct position. Easy stuff. And number 4 says this is a better position for the field because it's closer to the state's names and previous population for comparison. That's correct. Next, you will use the sort function to obtain information about the states with the largest and the smallest populations. Right-click the POP 2017 field column header and choose sort descending. Easy. We'll right-click inside of here, sort descending, and it will sort descending from largest to smallest. You can see the California here. Scroll back a little bit this way. California is the most populous state in 2017. So that's number 4. Number 5, page 2, has a quiz question. Which state had the largest population in 2017? Write your answer down. Should be pretty easy to figure out. Number 2, going on to table query or attribute queries on tables. Now we get into the fun stuff. There's 2 ways to create an attribute query. And to explain kind of what an attribute query is, you're querying based on the attributes that you specify. So if you want to find features on your map, features here would be a state. If you wanted to find a feature with a certain attribute or attributes in your map, then you can perform a query. And we're going to learn how to query for those attributes. So there's 2 ways of creating attribute table and an attribute query on a table. If the attribute table is not open, click the map in the ribbon bar that's here, and you just go to select by attributes here. If we've got our attribute table open, so the layer is already selected. So all we have to do here is just click on this selection, select by attributes here. Let's see, it says simple query. Next you will use select by attributes function to select states with the 2010 population greater than 10 million. So we want to find states in the states in our feature class here that have a 2010 population greater than 10 million. So we're going to be working in looking at attributes from the population 2010 field. So with the attribute table open, choose select by attributes. Select that by attributes table open. Change nothing in this window. So that means that this input rows here is what you're going to be performing the attribute. That's where what you're going to be querying. This is your feature class. Selection type, don't worry about this. We're not going to be adding selection types. Instead, you want to do a new expression. And this has changed quite a bit for those of you who have worked with ArcMap. This is quite a bit different. It's more user friendly. We're going to go ahead and click New Expression, and we're going to create a logical expression that tells ArcGIS Pro which features to select. So we want to select states with the 2010 population greater than 10 million. It kind of helps if you just say these things out whenever you're working through your query here. Okay. You used to be able to write it out here, but now, well, I don't care about that. Yeah, fine. We're just going to close this. Sorry about that. Go ahead and go back into this. Okay, so we are here. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this drop down right here. We already have states in here, so we want to know which states have a population of 2010. So that's this field here. So these are fields. We're going to drop this down to population 2010. So where states whose 2010 population is greater than, drop this down to greater than 10 million. So we're just going to type that in. 10 million. It's pretty easy stuff. And if you go back and read it, you kind of want to do this just to make sure that your query is going to be correct. This is states where the population of 2010 is greater than 10 million. So we double check it. We're going to go ahead and hit apply to test the query to make sure it works in the first place. So we hit apply, and hey, it selected these states right here. I'm on page 4 of the instruction now. It says when clicking apply, ArcGIS Pro will run the query and search the attribute table to select records, it'll search the attribute table for records that have a value in the population 2010 field that is larger than 10 million. States that meet this criteria will be selected on the map and signed. So you can see which states these are here. And those features are also selected in the attribute table. The number of selected features is located down here. We say 51 because this also includes the District of Columbia. So District of Columbia may be relevant in some of your future quiz questions here. Let's go ahead and move on to page 4. Page 4 asks, now let's select states that belong to the Pacific region. And that Pacific region is it's located under subregion. We've got Pacific as the first one here, so let's go ahead and try to find those. We're going to go ahead and hit clear to clear our selection first. And we're going to change this here. And so it's going to be states where subregion, I can find it here, there it is, subregion, equals, because you can't have a greater or less than, text. So we're going to say it's equal to, and now we just drop that down and we look for Pacific. There we go. We're going to hit apply. And we see that there are 5 records selected. 5 records, right. We've got Alaska over here, and we've also got Hawaii that's going to be out here. Those are all considered Pacific region states, as well as these 3 here. So we've got 5 that are selected. Quiz question 3 asks, how many states are in the Pacific region? Should be an easy answer, right? Write down your answers. You're going to submit it to the quiz later. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK to clear that out. I'm going to clear this out here. And we'll continue to the next page. I am on page 6 of Lab 5. And now we're going to do a compounded query. Compounded query is basically two queries working together to find a set of information. In some of the things that you've read this week about this lab, it's where you use an and or an or statement in your query. So let's see, on page 6 it says next we will start working on states with the 2010 population greater than 10 million and fall in the Pacific region. So we're going to go ahead and build that query. Go ahead and hit select by attributes. We're going to do new expression here. And so the first one was where, okay, so we need to find states whose population, so that's 2010 population, is greater than 10 million. And fall in the Pacific region. So you're going to hit add clause here to make that second statement. This can be an and or an or. We'll keep that as and. Let's see, the next was region. So we're going to drop this down to region. Subregion is equal to, and we said Pacific. Change that to Pacific. And we'll just go ahead and read this back. We have states whose 2010 population is greater than 10 million and whose subregion is equal to Pacific. We'll hit apply there. And it's selected, it made its selection here. So let's see. In the instruction on page 6, it says to add both statements. Right, we did all that. Think about this. The and statement is looking for states that meet both criteria. It's not looking for states with a population greater than 10 million or are Pacific, because you would end up with a much different selection there. Earlier, I saw that Texas was part of the selection for over 10 million. It's definitely not one of the Pacific states. So, like I said, you would end up with a much different query. So you need to figure out whether or not you want to use the and or the or. And it's pretty obvious here. It says and in the actual request. So let's go ahead and hit OK, and we'll clear this out. Quiz question 4 asks, how many states have a 2010 population greater than 10 million and are in the Pacific region? You just basically, that's a compound query. Well, I believe we just did that. So you just write down the answer for that. Quiz question 5, how many states have a more female population than male population and a total population in 2017 greater than 10 million? To build that query, you're going to have, two expressions here. You'll have, you pick your fields here. I believe this would be, it says female greater than male. And you'll see that, I'm going to close this out, we've actually got males and females as fields here. So those are the fields that you would use to figure those out. It says, and a population greater than, 2017 population greater than 10 million. Pretty easy. I'm probably going too far into this for you. Quiz question 6, how many states have more female population than male population, or a total population of 2017 greater than 10 million? It's pretty similar to question 5. It's just the and is different than the or. Question 7. How many states have grown by 10 million people since 2010? You do need to create a custom expression. So you would do this. Let's see, it says how many states have grown. Okay, so we have states here. And well, heck, it's got it written out for you basically right here, where population 2017 is greater than, and then you just type in what it tells you to type in, and then click apply, and there's your answer. So uh, it sounds a little bit more complicated than it than it might be. There's other ways to do it, but I think this is probably the simplest. Basically, all you really need to do is follow the directions. Follow the directions to the T, and you'll come up with an answer. Okay, so that was quiz question 7. Make sure you clear everything out. And then we're going to use the calculate field function. Okay, so it says, as a final exercise, you will explore the percentage of children under 5 years old by the state. Okay, so we don't know anything about that. Let's see what fields we do have here. Yeah, we've got under 5 here, under 5 years old, but we need to know percentages, right? We've got a total here, but we need to know that as a percentage of the population. And so we're going to, even in number 1 here, it says first we create a field to contain this information after we calculate it. Open the attribute table. We've already got that open. We're going to add a new field. So we're going to have click add here, and we'll have the field view pop up. We are going to, we see that we can add the field at the very bottom here. So we're going to add, or actually we're going to change the name. We're going to call it PCT underscore child 5 for percentage child 5. Don't worry about the alias. We're going to call this, we're going to give this a float. I can select it. We're going to give this a float type. And that should be about it. All you have to do from here is come up to the top and make sure you hit save. That will commit your percent child 5 field as soon as it runs. Come on. It's working. Okay, that took a little bit to run. I went ahead and paused my recording there. But anyway, so we see at the bottom here that percent child committed, and we've got it saved. The save button is grayed out here. So we're going to go ahead and close the fields view, and we're back to our regular attribute table here. Next. Let's see, I'm on page 8. It says, next you will calculate the percentage of children under 5 compared to the total population of each state. Number 2 says to right click on that field. It's all the way at the end here. So we're going to right click on it and hit calculate field right here. And we're going to build an expression by dividing I'm going to move this out of the way here. We're going to divide the underage 5 by the total, or the population of 2017. Multiply it by 100 to get that percentage. And it's pretty easy to do. You can type this stuff manually, but I really prefer clicking on field names here, just to prevent any sorts of typos. And just for general purposes. So, this is a Python expression, Python 3. So it's going to look a little funky whenever it comes up here. It's going to have, exclamation marks and things like that. Don't worry about that. Just follow the directions. All you have to do is we're going to double click. Where is it here? Age under 5. So we'll double click this. We're going to hit the divide symbol. And we're going to double click to pop 2017 right here. So we'll double click that. Multiplied by 100. 100. Actually, we need to put these. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm sitting here trying to think real quick. These really, in theory, ought to be in parentheses, and I don't think they are like that in the instruction. I don't think it's going to matter because when Python runs its deal, it's going to run through and divide this and then multiply that result by this. But in theory, it really ought to be in parentheses here. Just going to follow the instruction now. So we've got, this is going to divide the fields, everything in the field, age under 5. It's going to divide that by the POP 2017 field and multiply that result by 100 to give you the percentage. Okay, so we'll just hit OK on that and wait for that to populate inside of here. And there we go. There's our percentages right here. Let's see, I'm on page 8 of the instruction. The expression we built, but okay. So it's asked, the next part says to sort percent child in ascending order. So you just right click on that, sort ascending, pretty easy. I haven't done that. Because question 8 says, what state has the lowest percentage of children under 5? Once you sort ascending, you'll be able to see which state has the lowest percentage of children under 5, which is why I didn't do it. I didn't want to show you the answer. Pretty easy. You should be able to figure it out yourself. Question 9. How many states have a percentage of children under 5, less than 5%, which is the percent child 5 field, and a 2017 population less than 10 million? This would be pretty easy. We just do select by attributes. It's a quiz question, so I'm not going to go through it the whole thing, but it's asking how many states have a percentage of children under 5, less than 5%. So we're going to create two expressions here. It's going to be percent child under 5, and it's going to be less than 5%. Less than, and then you just write that, do the right expression here, type what you need to type, and a 2017 population, less than 10 million. So that's how you would do question 9. It'll make a selection. You just look, see how many features are selected, and that's the answer. Let's see, number 4 says clear all selections. I don't have anything to clear, so we'll do that. On your own, calculate the population density in 2017. Density is population divided by square miles. We'll use POP 17. Should be pretty easy to do. You just need to create a new field for density. I'm going to work through it, just a little bit of it here. Population density. So it'd be, we call it pop dense. We'll give it a float. Go ahead and save. Wait for it to save. There we go. And then density should be down here on the very end. Yeah, pop density. You could just call it density, I guess, if you wanted. And then you would use calculate field. Click there, calculate field, and just click on the right fields to build yourself an expression inside of that. That will create your population density. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Quiz question 10 asks, which state has the lowest population density in 2017? So you just sort ascending, and after you've built your pop dense field or density field or whatever you want to call it, see which value is lowest and write that down. And that'll be the answer for quiz question 10. That is it. How long did this take? 24 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad. Doing queries like this is really, really, really useful, especially when you have, we've only got 51 features here. But when you have thousands of features to be able to select from, and you need to find, some of the projects that I used to work on, uh, creating maps, I would have clients that asked, find in Denton County or yeah, in Denton County, I need a list of all of the parcels and their owners, who own tracts of property 10 acres and larger. I also need them numbered on the map, and that's probably a good 20,000 parcels. So, and that's out of, hundreds of thousands. So, being able to perform these attribute queries like this is a good thing because, I mean, you can turn that around super quick, or you could take several days and figure out the acreages and get them all to it. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. It's been 25, almost 26 minutes. So, go ahead and complete everything. As always, we are around on GroupMe. If you need any help, let someone know, and we will get right to you.